The first step I took, I slipped.
Is a really, really big accomplishment.
Reach the crutches! Hello friends of YouTube, and welcome back to this series where I am documenting my recovery journey from a hip impingement surgery and a labrum repair. Let's start with week 3, which was a very interesting week. It all started really nicely. I drove for the first time 2 weeks, 2 days after surgery. It was super exciting to be able to be in my car again. One thing that I was doing though, since I couldn't open my leg, I had my heel on the floor and I would speed like this and then move it like this to brake. So that way it was only my heel moving and not the whole body. Driving with a brace is definitely not the most comfortable thing. Being in a 90 position sitting wasn't also that comfortable, but it was survivable. I was really excited to be able to have my car again. My preference was not to drive until it was fully necessary, which meant that I did drive that day just to see what that looked like and to confirm that I could actually do it. But later I just allowed my mom or my boyfriend to keep driving because I didn't see the point of driving when I still had the crutches. I needed help to get in and out of the car, bring the crutches. Now, the dark side of week 3, which means, the transition between week 2 and week 3, was that my left side was working overtime. I was overcompensating for the way that I couldn't put on my right leg, so my heel started to swell, and I was also having pain in my shoulder from a previous injury, and that led to disaster.
Yesterday we had a scare because I had 2 days worth of shoulder pain, horrible shoulder pain. Given the pain in my shoulder that I thought, and I still think, and spoiler alert, it does come from an injury that I had before the surgery. But given that pain and the swelling in the ankle, there was a concern about the blood clots, so it was a little bit of a scary night trying to get a hold of the emergency line of my surgeon and my physical therapist and everybody that could help to figure out what was going on, and that was very, very scary. I cannot wait to leave these blood clot thoughts behind. I'm ready to do that, and I'm also ready to leave these crutches behind. At the end, the swelling of the ankle was too low for it to be a symptom of a blood clot, so we think it is just because my left leg is taking all the hit of me not being able to use my other limb that much, and the pain in the shoulder is a result of me propelling myself with the crutches. I am ready to ditch the crutches. I am super ready to ditch the crutches.
After that episode of thinking that I was gonna die with a blood clot, I woke up feeling so tired. It felt like I was hangover. It was a crazy feeling. I was a little bit drowsy and like my mind was foggy. I couldn't exactly remember things. It was really weird. I blame it on the adrenaline. I think there was so much adrenaline in my body pumping. There was so much pain. There was so many things. I was exhausted the next day. I spent most of the time just chilling because I just didn't have the energy to do anything else. And despite all of that and all the pain that I had a lot of pain in my heel, a lot of pain in my shoulder, excruciating pain in my wrists, like bad pain in my wrists, to the point that I had callus in my palms. It was not good. Despite all of that, the hip was okay, which I guess that's what you hope, because that's what went through surgery, so it would be an issue if that was in pain. At the end of week 2, I got my stitches off, so in week 3, I was learning how to take care of them. One of the stitches didn't close, so I was dealing with an infected open wound, putting some antibiotic lotion, and covering it with a Band-Aid. It was a little bit concerning for a second, but I just kept cleaning it and treating it, and it got better over time. So with all of this, I got to physical therapy at the end of week 3. My physical therapist told me to take my first steps without the crutches. I was super excited. It was really funny because initially the instructions were that I would take a steps full body weight with the crutches on my side to help me. And I tried to do that, but I was still putting all my weight either on the crutches or on the left side. So at some point my physical therapist said, "Can you hand me your crutches for a minute?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah." And then he took them and he said, "Okay, now go." And I started walking, and of course I got super excited. The first step I took, I slipped, but he was very fast and he was able to catch me. After that, I took like, I guess 10 steps or something like that. And then I took another 10 to show my mom that I could actually walk, which was really, really amazing. It made me really happy. That was an amazing moment of the recovery, to be able to see that I can walk, that my hip is healing.
This is 3 weeks and 2 days post-op. I am driving by myself for the first time with my roommate. It doesn't feel comfortable still, you know. I have the crutches and can't get in and out of the car without help. So it's not easy. I'm just doing it because I have to, but yeah. Driving by myself, hopefully the car gets home in one piece.
So we went into week 4 like that. The idea with week 4 was that I would still use the crutches full weight in both legs. So the crutches would be more of an aid in case something happened. I did feel like there were some times in which I was not putting full weight there, but I tried as much as possible to get back to walking full weight. So during week 4, we kept doing the same physical therapy exercises, added a couple more. You know, I was just doing like windshield wipers, baby leg bridges, and a little bit of moving my leg out or front or back. Very, very tiny things. I went into physical therapy the last day of week 4 with pain that was going all the way down to my knee. And I got in there a little bit hopeless because I definitely had the desire of ditching the crutches, but I knew that that pain wasn't good news. So got there, we started working on other things in physical therapy. We changed completely the protocol. That was a week where all my exercises changed, and we started doing crazy things like baby squats. I had a ball between the wall and my back, and I was going down a little bit, just a tiny bit. Also did some balance on my surgical leg and lifted the leg off the ground, kind of like if I wanted to take a step. And all these crazy things that I didn't think my body was ready to do. Did some single leg bridges, some Supermans. And that to me felt kind of like a test, because at the end of the session, my physical therapist said, okay, I don't want to see these crutches again. And I looked at him and I was like, okay, to come to physical therapy? And he responded, no, in general, ditch the crutches. Ditch the crutches, which was the best part of that day. And I walked out of there just full of joy that I was able to go back to my life and that my hip was actually recovering, that the hard work that I was putting in was paying off. That was around like 6 p.m. I walked out and then probably just walked into the apartment and, you know, just like took laps around the apartment. Very, very simple things. Carrying my own water, carrying my own plates. And by 8 p.m., I was completely crashed. I was so tired. It felt like I had walked a marathon without training. It was crazy. My legs were so heavy and so sore. That was the beginning of me feeling tired and hungry all the time.
2 days, 4 weeks after the surgery, and I am wearing a tank top, which makes me so happy. And the reason why I'm so excited about wearing a tank top is because I don't need to have the crutches with me anymore, and that allows me to have free arms and free armpits, because I didn't want to, you know, rough my armpits against the crutches. So I was wearing t-shirts all this time. So wearing a tank top today is a really, really big accomplishment, and I am over the moon and I am super excited. That progress has happened really fast. I do feel like after a month I have seen a lot of progress. A lot of little things that you take for granted that are actually huge when you cannot do them, like sitting down or pulling up my pants or balancing on one leg for 15 seconds, or being able to just like carry a glass of water. I couldn't even do that when I was wearing the crutches, so I am really, really happy. I'm still trying to digest it. I'm happy and grateful with my body. It has reacted in the best way, and very much looking forward to see what this next phase of physical therapy looks like. Still keeping myself in good spirits and being very, very patient. I know that there is a long way before I can go back on the ice, so baby steps, bicycle, and then I think it's elliptical, and then running, jumping, ice. So still keeping it high spirits, excited and celebrating every single accomplishment that I have.
I didn't know what the weather was like for weeks. I didn't really have the energy or the will to leave the apartment. I couldn't put my shoes on yet. I walked, but I got really tired. So I took it as easy as possible. Boring face. Something that I did do though was I started wearing PJs to go to bed, because before that I was not. Before that I was just going to bed with the same clothes. Changing clothes has been one of the biggest challenges for me. Putting on your pants and then pulling them up is not easy, and the same with the underwear. So I was really not changing clothes that often, but I started changing to my PJs, which was an accomplishment. And the other accomplishment that I had in week 4 was that I finished all my pills, which was also a blessing, because the anti-inflammatory pill was really rough on my stomach. So I was happy to finish that one. Stopped taking aspirin as well. I finished the pills that are supposed to avoid the growth of the scarring tissue. It was great. Time has gone by relatively fast when I see the big picture, but when I am laying on the couch, seeing the minutes go by is so slow. I guess it's a little bit of a very weird perspective, because now that I see it back, it's been 1 month. But then I find myself on the couch and it's been just 1 minute and it feels like a lifetime. But we're getting there. Things are getting better. I can't wait to see what the next months look like, and I will be happy to share them with you. Thank you so much for watching the video and for making it till the end. I hope that you liked it. I hope that it helped somehow. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or recommendations or comments about how your journey has been or how you've been living this, please drop them down in the comment section. And stay tuned, because I will keep documenting my recovery journey and all the small or big lessons that I am learning throughout this process. Bye!